Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, and today I'm hanging out with Rachel with the creatures of Vathis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Awesome, awesome day.
You guys have a Kickstarter running, and your campaign setting has been out for a bit now, and you've been playing in that world for a long time, and decided to share it with the rest of us.
Yeah. That's kind of how that started. I started playing about 10 years ago, and the campaign setting we created was the homebrew world that we played in for years and years. And then after we published that, and we had a good response to that, and we take that to conventions and stuff like that, we decided to do a bestiary. So that sounded like a fun new adventure to delve into.
So, what made you guys decide to take your campaign world out to the wider world?
Seeing a lot of that go up on Kickstarter really inspired us, and we always sort of had the dream to publish it, but we didn't really have a medium. And when Kickstarter was up and coming and turning into a bigger thing, we thought, oh, this could be something we could put it out to, and if people are interested, we could actually have those awesome physical books. So we collected all of our information and got it all together, and then we just put it out there to the world, and it worked out. So it was really awesome. Yeah.
Sweet. So what's the elevator pitch for the campaign setting for the world that you guys play in?
Okay. So the world that we play in, it is somewhat traditional fantasy, but instead of thinking like steampunk, there's more of a magic punk element. Technology is 1920s-ish levels, but it's driven by a magical crystal resource called Eldria. So that's pretty neat. It's like a clean magic energy, so less steampunky, but you have a lot of that industrial technology. And then the world itself just got out of a major war. 60% of the world's population was killed by invading demons and fiends. So you have that sort of wide open, dangerous spaces in addition to these hubs of civilization. And it's pretty neat. Yeah.
Population's overrated anyway.
Yeah. And there's a lot of power vacuums. You have lots of wide open spaces between the national borders. And there's a map on our website where you can kind of see where the kingdoms lie and all the space outside of it. And then all the kingdoms are really different culturally and functionally and technologically. So I like to think if there's any type of game that you want to play, there's probably a place for it. So it's not a very static tech level or static magic level or static culture. It's very diverse.
So what is the tech level?
So it is kind of 1920s. You have factories of sorts. You have industry, you have like advertisement, you have anything. A lot of the problems that magic could have solved have been solved. Instead of having cars or things like that, we have airships. Airships are the main mode of transportation, and they're powered by that crystal resource called Eldria. So that's kind of where the tech level's at.
So how long? So when did you guys release the campaign setting?
I want to say we kickstarted in the summer of 2015. It was it was my second Gen Con, I think. I'm trying to remember here because it's been a few years. But it was August of 2015, and then we had the books by the next following August. So it ran for a month, and then we had the files out to the printer. I think in like late March or April, we got books kind of near June, July-ish, and then we shipped them all from there.
Sweet. So you guys had to been pretty stoked about that. That your home world, your campaign setting was widely received.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I was super emotional about it. So, and it was a lot of hard work. We did the campaign settings, 300 pages, and then the player's guide was 150. So it was a lot of content, and we spent so many late nights and kind of weekend benders working on it that finally having that physical product in our hands was just amazing.
So what are some of the defining features like what that someone would be interested in, or they're surprised when they play in your game for the first time? Especially, I guess, like maybe people that came to your home game for the first time. What were like some of the ahas?
Um, so I guess it would depend. We've had very diverse tables at our gaming group. We've played campaigns where it's like it's really super high magic, and we're hunting down lost artifacts that are insanely powerful and working with archmages and things like that. And then we had one campaign that I really love, and we were working with some lowly criminal smugglers, kind of against the good guys, and it was really seedy, and it was really gritty, and it was in a city in Eresia where there wasn't a whole lot of high magic or things like that. It was very criminal overlordish. So I think the diversity in the different nations is a big draw. Each of the nations in the campaign setting is about 10 pages, so there's a lot of information packed into them.
So do you usually play, or are you usually a GM?
I play. So I love playing. I love creating characters. I've GM'd a little bit, usually in smaller games, smaller little adventure paths and things like that. Never a crazy overarching game yet, but I love playing. So,
Mita, is that by choice, or do you guys have like a set DM who won't give up the chair, or?
We have a set DM. I wouldn't say that he won't give up the chair. It's more like we force him to stay in it. So the poor guy, it's my fiance, and he's been kind of the DM for the bulk of it. We do rotate sometimes. One of our other guys, Joe, he DMs a lot of 5e games, and he's kind of our 5e connoisseur. And he's played games, or he's ran games where Brad's been able to play as a player, but it's usually Brad DMing.
So you don't have to GM, but we're just not taking these shackles off.
And then it's gotten sort of crazy. It's kind of winding down to a conclusion. I still think we have a few months left, but we're in the last sort of frontier. We're on another plane of existence, and we're accomplishing those final goals here. So that's going to be winding down. And then on Monday, I play in a 5th edition game, and that's called Ladies of Vathis, and that's actually brand new. We've only played 3 episodes, I think. So and it's all girl players, and we're playing like noble women. I'm a celestial warlock, which is a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than I thought it would be. So it's really goofy. It's really lighthearted, and we just have a great time there.
So where do you guys stream to?
Stream from or stream to? Like the channel? Or
yeah.
Oh, it's Twitch TV /Starcalled Studios. So same name as the company. And all of our streams go up there. So our Monday games there, our Saturday games there. We think Joe's going to start a 5th edition game on Wednesdays. So I don't know if he's reaching out to the wide audience at large to get on that. But I can ask him, and if he is, I'll definitely tweet about that, because we're going to have another game starting there. Oh,
cool. So I have the Kickstarter in the description on YouTube here, as well as the website. I'll have to get your Twitter and your Twitch channel. I'll put that in there as well, so people can find you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be great. I can definitely get that for you.
So monsters, that's what you guys are working on right now, though.
Yes, that is the current project. So all day, every day, monsters.
So do you have any favorites out of the collection?
I do. I would say I really like a lot of the drakes are cool, and we have one of the drake sample pages in the body of the Kickstarter, the ornable drake, and I think it's really pretty. I really like the Pegasus that we have, the Royal Pegasus. I like the gem tortoise. It's like a tortoise that's got all these little gemstones on it. I'm a big fan of kind of the cute animals, maybe the smaller, cuter things, less of the scary stuff. So those are all my favorites, and a lot of those are my inspiration.
Okay, that was going to kind of be my next question. How much of the design are you involved with?
I'm not so much involved in the statting. So we have sort of our Pathfinder team and our 5e team, and we have a lot of community members that we reach out to, and they've been play testing and helping us balance. I do a lot of the writing. I do a lot of the editing. But when we sat down and we came up with these creatures, we wanted to do a certain amount kind of per nation. We were thinking with our world in mind, even though these are setting agnostic and they're just creatures. And we all have our little corners of the world. Like I have my own nation that's kind of my brainchild, and no one can touch it. So the ones that were all found there were sort of mostly me, and that's how we kind of divvied up the creation. But everything that we made was approved by everybody else. So
hands off.
Yeah, and it's my tiny little corner of the world. It's like an island, and no one's allowed to play with that.
So you guys have a whole team over there.
Mm-hmm.
How many people you got on your team, and what's everybody do over there?
All right, well, there's 6 of us, and I don't want to forget anybody. So it's me and Brad, and like I said, I do most of the writing, I do most of the editing, I do all of the layout stuff. So the page layouts, InDesign, that's all me. I kind of learned it trial by fire. I just sat down like, well, I promised these people a book and I have to make them a book now. So I'm going to learn how to do that. He's the main GM. He's kind of the big Pathfinder guy. And this was originally, the whole project was originally his 10 years ago. So it was originally his world. It was originally mostly his thoughts, and he kind of included the rest of us. And yeah, and now it's more of a joint effort. Joe, he does a lot of the 5e stuff. He's kind of our 5e guy. He runs lots of games. He does our adventure modules and our adventure paths. So that's more his speed. And then Andrea, she does a lot of support things. She helps me read and edit, and she does a lot of social media outreach. And so does Ashley. So Ashley, she keeps our books. She keeps our inventory in line. She keeps all the guys in line. She's like our whip, and it's great.
Every company needs one of those.
We would be lost without her. I don't think I could do what she does. She runs our social media accounts mostly. Yeah, and she made the Drake. So her big contribution to this project as a creator for the first time as a writer, because before she was just more administration, is she made all of the Drakes. So they're really awesome, and I think she did a great job, and she had a lot of fun with it.
That is one of the challenges, is putting together a team that can work.
I actually forgot Justin.
Oh no, you can't forget Justin.
But Justin does a lot of our tech stuff, so he's kind of the brains behind the website, the brains behind the interactive map, how we have that all functioning on our website. He handles all of our hosting things and all of our techie stuff. So it's something you don't think about unless it's broken, which is probably why I forgot him there. But Justin is also extremely useful, and I'm sorry if he sees this and gets offended.
Yeah, as someone who kind of has to double as the webmaster at times, I totally get that. Like, I don't do anything over there until something breaks. So it's just better when I don't have to be involved.
And then it's like, and then all of a sudden, he has to fix it right away. But we all play together. So all of us, we sit down in the different games. Andrea's in the 5e game, not the Pathfinder game. And then the rest of us are also in the Pathfinder game. So all 6 of us play actively in one of those 2 games. And we have a great time doing it. So we do all play together.
And you said you guys are playing in 2 games a week, and you guys are thinking about going to 3?
Yeah, I play in 2 games a week. I play on Saturday and Monday. So the 3rd game we're thinking of starting for Wednesday. Joe will be running it. He'll be the GM, but we're thinking about including members from our Discord community, members that we're kind of pulling from different places, and it would be over Roll20 and not in person. So I don't have the time to play in 3 games a week. I really wish I did. But he's kind of going out into the wider world and sourcing people for this game.
No, I totally get that. I play in 3, sometimes 4 games a week, and it's a lot. Especially if you want to get other things done.
Yeah, and as much as I love it, and I get PMs sometimes from different channels that are like, could you play this Friday night game? And then I see it's going to be a 30-week commitment, and I'm like, I really can't do that, unfortunately, as much as I would absolutely love to. So
I want to dive into the chat. We're getting some questions. One from Fantasy Grounds College said about virtual tabletops, but I think you already answered that. You said you guys play on Roll20?
Yeah, so when we do our play testing games, and the Wednesday game will be from people that might end up being all over, so that will definitely be Roll20. But our Saturday game we play in person, and our 5e game on Monday, we do Theater of the Mind, so we don't use Roll20 or anything like that. We just have the webcams and kind of role play it out. But I have used Roll20 before, and our 5e game that's starting Wednesday will likely be on Roll20.
So TrueMate wants to know, is there any new in the book?
There are. So we have a lot of mounts. We have all the Drakes. We wanted just to sort of be mounts. They're mounts in our setting, and they have different personality quirks, and they might not be cheap or the best kind of temperament, but we wanted to put it out there like, you can ride these. We intend them to be rideable creatures. There's a ram, and that's what the dwarves in our setting like to use as mounts. We would like to think that the Eldercorn could be a mount. Yeah, so we are kind of going into that with those in mind. And depending on how much space we have on the individual creature pages, the ones that we want to be mounts will have more information on that page. Just depends on the layout and how we end up wiggling it all together.
Sweet. So Stacy Winters, is the player's guide duplicate information from the larger setting book?
I would say it's not. So a good example that I like to use is if you have the campaign setting and it lists the 40, it's going to be 2 different plus organizations that we have. That gives a lot of the history, a lot of the big sort of overview, the higher level view detail of those organizations. If you look at that organization in the player's guide, it's going to include what your role would be as a member, how to join, what the perks of joining are. So a lot of it, it's similar information, but it's definitely not duplicated. It's 2 different perspectives, and it's